Hey guys, meteorologist Lindsey Slater here. Let's talk about the forecast today. So what you're looking on your screen, it's a little bit nerdy. It's called a skew T chart. And this is basically the vertical profile of the atmosphere. Whenever you have the dew points and the temperatures that are close together, it's a very good indication that we do have potentially some rain or even clouds at the surface. So if I go ahead and show you what that looks like here, I'm going to highlight it. This right here is the temperature profile. And the other one is going to be your dew point. And you see right here how they're close together, kind of in the middle there. I'm just going to there we go. It's kind of close in the middle. So this indicates to me that we do have some rain, maybe even some virga going on, a little bit of dry air in between, and then rain potentially at the surface. Now, this was a skew T chart from earlier this morning. So we did have some of that rain that moved through. This is from 12Z today. So that means basically 6 a.m. We had a couple of those showers roll through. And then as you can see, it's tight in the middle here. Eventually that will go away and you have dry air that takes over. So I know that later on today we have a lot of dry air, so the rain is going to go away. And that's pretty indicative here on my latest weather models that highlights this as well. Here's a couple of those showers from this morning and all of that moves out. Today we'll see highs getting into the mid and upper 60s. But I do want to show you something else, and there's a reason why I brought up the skew T charts. As we go into overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, I want you to notice there's a little boundary right here that wants to form. And the latest H trips want to give us some rain chances by midday on Friday. And I'm like, okay, interesting. I look at the wrap, kind of has a similar scenario with some midday showers, but the NAM doesn't have much of anything, maybe a spotty shower. So in my forecast, I will likely call for a spotty shower, but this is such a wimpy system that's rolling through. And if I go to the WPC, which does highlight those fronts I was talking about right here, you can see going into the weekend, we're under this beautiful ridge of high pressure. So I'm thinking here that we likely are not going to have much in the way of rainfall. I'm going to go back to the page so we can look at the 1 to 2 analysis and zoom the map out a little bit. So we have the cold front moving through today, and then we have this little boundary right here that could trigger an isolated shower that you see here. So I'm going to the skew T charts because let's look at Friday. Friday shows me this is 12Z. There's a little bit of a tightening here, so maybe a spotty shower, but there is a lot of dry air right here. And even as I go through time, that really doesn't moisten back up. So part of me is thinking, will likely just it tries. You can see it tries to moisten up here, but this is now getting into 9 p.m. So my forecast, I'm going to go with an isolated pop-up shower on Friday. Most of us are going to stay dry. I'm going to kind of go against what the weather models have. And then we go into a pretty nice weekend. The weekend does feature a beautiful ridge of high pressure that keeps us dry all weekend. And that high pressure also keeps all of those systems over off to the west, which is extremely helpful. So we're done with the skew T charts and all of that. Let's talk about the temperatures. I had someone ask me, are we done with summer heat? I don't think so. There's a big ridge over off to the west coast right here. So that ridge really showcases to me that that will eventually move back in our way. We're in a very meridional jet pattern, which means the jet stream right now, and you'll probably see this when I show you that analysis, the jet stream right now is kind of doing one of these numbers. So it's hot, it's cool, and then we have more heat here. That's why it's kind of like that. That's why Maine and Florida are a little bit above average. So, and precip wise, we're also a little bit above average as well. What I'm thinking here is, as you can see, just as I just drew, we have that right there, meridional pattern. I think we'll get out of that. I think we're done with the 90s, but I don't think we're done with the 80s. And I think that ridge will likely move over us, as you can see, going into the beginning part of next week. We're back actually in those upper 70s. Another trough is going to come in right here. You see that guy? It's going to roll in and make us cooler than average for the end of the week, but there is some heat that's building toward the East Coast this time, and that will likely bring the return of southwesterly winds. So heat and humidity are both likely to return by the middle, I would say by September 9th, 10th. And yeah, likely we're going to hang on to that for a little while. So we're not done with 80s. We're likely done with those 90s, though. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful Labor Day. I'll have one more of these for you coming up on Friday. But until then, you have a great rest of your Thursday.